Okay, here it is. These are the two 1 cubic meter water tanks into which I pump the water from a well. And since it's positioned a little bit higher than the soil itself, I can call it gravitational irrigation system, which is a very fancy word for for these little hoses that I use to water. Okay, first garden bed. This is my prospective garden bed. It's very weedy. It's just like that, full of dandelions and crabby grass and everything, crouch grass. So I heavily mulched it with straw, leaves, whatever I could, and those cardboards will go back. And I just leave it for the nature until next spring, when it will be absolutely ready to be sowed or planted into. Okay, first strawberry bed. Now it's quite weedy, but it gave us lots of strawberries, and still you can still find yummy treats if you are willing to dig deep. There are some comfreys there, which is very nutritious for the soil. Another strawberry bed. Now it's full of weed, but it's great. There are some garlics which needs to be harvested because the leaves, you can see, are quite old and the onion rust attacked it, so I have to harvest them. This is the next garden bed, which is very weedy, full of special weed that is perennial and very difficult to get rid of it. So I'm going to cover it with this soil cover until next spring, but just to have something out of it. These beauties are yellow zucchinis, and I will plant more because 3 of them didn't come up. Another strawberry bed with some more onions. I will have garlics. I will have approximately 250 bulbs for the summer, which will be just enough for the next year. Strawberry, onion, garlic, and weed. This it contains some carrots here and there, but I will just take all the plants out, and this is going to be a tomato bed. And I don't mind the weed because they bring down a lot of carbon into the soil to feed the microbacteria, which will be very beneficial for my tomatoes. This is a huge parsley which I left to bold and flower so that I can feed my pollinators. And this garden bed also has strawberries which will bear fruit next year. And there are some salads, the tall ones, which are now bolting, will have a lot of seeds, and those seeds I will trust the wind to bring the seeds everywhere. So next spring there will be lots of little lettuce plants which I didn't have to work for, just harvest. Another bed to weed, but it's theoretically it's also strawberry and white onion. This is my potato slash sweet potato bed. The potatoes are on the two edges, at the edges of the garden bed, and the sweet potatoes are in the middle. You can see these are the sweet potatoes, these heart-shaped little plants. They are purple variety, so it will be very deep purple. Yes, it needs a little bit of weeding. Zucchini plant and all the way to the end of this row I am going to have, you know, zucchini plants all the way. So I expect at least 200 kilos of zucchinis, so a lot to give away. Corn, this is my cornfield, and there are some bean which will use the corn stalks as support. And unfortunately last week's hail did a detrimental had a detrimental effect on my poor corns. You can see that the leaves are scattered and some plants are even broken because of the hail. This is my very first hail catastrophe, but we will survive. And that's a compost heap that I'm going to start building very soon. You can see some tubes there. I will use them to provide ventilation so that I don't have to turn the compost pile. And there are some spontaneously grew tomatoes here and there because this is where I kept last year's compost, so it's full of tomato seeds. Okay, so we are going along the zucchini field, and this is a garden flower bed. There is borage, calendula, phacelia, butterfly flower, zinnia, lupine, all kinds of flowers to attract and feed pollinators. But I interplanted it with pepper, capia pepper, and celeriac. And I believe in the biodiversity and planting everything together. So you can see pepper and pepper. It needs a little bit of weeding, celeriac, but it can wait. Okay, next garden bed. It's full of beautiful tomatoes. I'm showing you some beautiful tomato flowers. Altogether this year I am planting 50 different kinds of tomatoes, so I expect quite abundant crop. The next bed, theoretically this is also a strawberry and onion bed, which are quite hidden. I let also some parsleys to flower to attract and feed pollinators. This garden bed was for pea and carrot, and now it has kohlrabi and of course more tomatoes and more celeriac. Look at this beautiful big bushy tomato plant. Okay, this is what a strawberry garlic bed should look like. Strawberries at the edges and a lot of garlic. And I think I can be quite happy with the garlic harvest. Okay, this is another very, very weedy patch, so I simply covered it and I planted zucchini in it. This is where I keep my elephant garlic, which are very huge compared to a normal garlic. I don't know if I am able to pull one out because the soil is very compact here. Ta-da! Here is an elephant garlic and I will compare it to the normal one. Okay. I think you can see the difference. Okay, big one, tiny one, and this is the normal that you can buy at the market. Okay, and then 3 onion/garlic beds, 1, 2, and 3, and they will be harvested very, very soon. This is another ex-compost heap. I put 4 tomatoes here and there, and they are called Adelaide Festival, and this is a new variety that I'm trying out. Corn and bean, and much to my surprise, spontaneously, I have some asparagus plant, so I am going to turn it into an asparagus bed, because I remember when I brought some old asparagus stalks which had seeds on it, and somehow those seeds were viable and germinated. Ha! I love that. Okay, weedy little hill with some hidden zucchinis, beautiful zucchini flower. This is not gooseberry, some berry that I forgot the name. It will come back. Okay, but look at this beautiful onion. Like, I don't know how much you see from it, but this is big. I mean, big. Okay, another onion patch, and you can see the hail, the traces of hail. These white spots, those are where the hail hit the onions. So I hope they can still grow the bulbs underneath. Okay, I had fava beans and pea here. I took them out. There are some parsnips here and there, but I think I will take them off because I need to plant some more tomatoes, because I need to produce much. Okay, more. That's another garden, but I need to clean. Okay, and when I clean a garden bed, it looks like this. Here you can see tomatoes interplanted with kohlrabi, and tomato interplanted with purple sweet potato. Some more tomatoes which will interplanted with broccoli, and this bed is waiting to be planted in, and this part needs to be cleaned out and turned into something like this, but I don't know when I will have time for that. Okay, and theoretically this kind of beds will will be here in the future when I have time to do them. It looks like a huge weedy area, but I have more pepper and purple sweet potato and all kinds of flowers. It just needs a little bit of weeding. And here is a row of sweet potato that I'm not going to show. Please believe me that it's there. Some sunflowers which grew spontaneously from last year's crop. And this is what I'm working on right now. On Monday I cleared out this garden bed. It looked like this, and now I just left the celeriacs there, and with my rake I made long trenches, and what I'm going to do is to water this whole bed very, very thoroughly, and I will plant tomatoes, but I will plant them horizontally. I will bury the stem as much as I can, because the tomato is a plant which can grow extra roots on that part of the stem which touches the soil. So I am going to take these tomato plants. I got them from someone. It's called a raspberry tomato, and I will take them, let's say this, and I will bury it until here. Only this tiny little part will come out of the ground, and throughout, so this whole part of the stem will be buried in the ground, and in a couple of weeks the increased amount of roots will shoot up the plant, and it will be vigorous and tall. And 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 multiplied by 2, 14. So I will plant 14 raspberry tomatoes here. Raspberry because of the color of them, and I hope that they will be healthy enough to produce much tomatoes that I can preserve for the winter. And this is the last garden bed. I know that by this time you are very bored with it. All the stakes mean 1 tomatoes. So tomatoes, this I love those tomatoes which have potato leaves, because the potato leaves are quite wide and the tomato leaves are thinner. But some tomatoes have leaves like potatoes, because you know they are in the same family. And now some more celeriac, some more sweet potato, and I need to replant some tomatoes because the hail destroyed them. And this is my other compost heaps. I am composting a lot. I fill them up, and you can see little holes there, right? So theoretically, this is how I'm building my compost. I put tubes in it, I fill it up, I water them thoroughly, and I add some microbiological composter, which will be responsible for a quick composting process, but I will not use it until next spring, because by that time it will be excellent. So, and when I fill them up, I just pull out the tubes, and these little holes will provide the oxygen that is needed for the composting process, and that's why I don't need to turn the compost from time to time. And this compost heap, or it was packed fully, and it was even higher than the walls, and I did it a couple of months ago, and still it is almost collapsed to half its size, because the composting process is so great. And still you can see the holes, the tubes of air in it, which provides the oxygen. So this is my Garden of Eden here. It's very weedy, but it produces an abundant amount of crop, which is all organic, nourished with love. And I am very grateful to have this opportunity, and to it amazes me all the time how beautiful world God created for us. And so this is where I wind down. This is where I have the greatest ideas that I can use in my classroom. This is where I can, put down all the bad stuff and just calm down. So thank you for joining me to this tour. Okay.